the past 15 years, catering to IT, non-IT technology sectors, startups, and a wide range of applications, including defense and aerospace, as well as few technologies that are just coming up. Okay, there are a few specific aspects which I thought I can share with you, all of you, when you're restarting your career. Frankly, I wouldn't like to use the word restart, because restart is something which you stop, then start at the same point, which isn't the actual fact when you're taking up your career once again. I would like to look at the whole scenario when you give a gap because of kids or some illness or health-related issues in your family, or whatever be the reasons. When there is a gap or a larger gap whereby you have to leave a job, existing job, and then join another job after some period of time, I would like to look at it as more of a career reset opportunity. Career reset opportunity, by and large, my meaning of career reset is depending upon what sort of line you have been in. It could be IT, it could be finance, it could be HR, it could be any other line of activity which you have been working for some time, whatever be the period. The gap essentially also gives you an opportunity to reset your career, reset in the sense to have a rethink and make a mid-course correction in your career life. To give a small example, let me take an example from my own life. Even though today I am in recruitment, I didn't work even a single day in any HR department. Not a single day, let me take you. My whole career, working life had always been in the technical areas. Technical, customer support, handling defense projects, and various other issues, anything except for HR or finance. But today I'm in the recruitment line. I had a few career gaps. I mean, even though I'm a male, I'm sure the similar situations, I wouldn't definitely call them identical situations, but similar situations would be repetitive for most of you people. When I had a break, because the company in which I worked closed down, I had to fend for myself. That's when we started Sphinx. I started Sphinx Resources. And slowly along the way, I realized that my technical knowledge of understanding the resources or the people needs from the company perspective as well as from the candidate's perspective. My technical background helped me a lot. The same, I would say, would apply to many of you. Maybe most would not be the right word, but definitely many of you. You have worked in some particular area, you had to leave the job for different reasons, then start off. That is when the period which gives you thinking time. While you are in the middle of a job, you hardly get time to think or even maybe reading. Some people may like reading, but they don't find the time to do the general reading, even for knowledge updation. That is the time which gives you a lot of thinking time. Was my earlier decision the right thing, or did I get into the earlier job because of circumstances, because there were not many opportunities at that point of time? And what would be the logic in which each individual works such out? So that is one particular aspect. So I would rather put it in a different context, like I mentioned. That is a career reset opportunity. It's not mandatory that you have to switch your career to a totally different line. If you love the job which you did earlier, as well continue in the same line, no problem. But the key point being, rather than thinking that you're working, as long as you enjoy whatever you're doing, there won't be any fatigue, no depression, no nothing. And there is another, once when you begin to think of rejoining or restarting or rebooting your career, there are a few other aspects which change from person to person, from individual to individual. one particular important factor would be the family support structure. For whatever reason, the earlier job had been, you had left the earlier job, you are rebooting your career now, whether in the same line or in a different line, whatever be it. But the family support structure becomes very important at that point of time. After you rejoin a new job and after some time has elapsed, that may not be priority number one at a later point of time. But at that point of time where you make a decision, the family support structure becomes very important, especially for working couples. Because they may not have in-laws, they may not have parents who look after the kid. I have a different perspective. Well, I'm taking the example, the kid being the reason for the gap in the career. That is one area which each individual needs to think in a detailed way. I mean, let me put it in a generic way actually. Work towards the best case scenario. We may assume we have the support of so and so XYZ in the family, which may be true, may not be true in the long run. Here the key word or the key perspective would be in the long run, until you settle down or until the kid grows up to a reasonable extent where day to day or minute to minute support is not needed for the kid. Work towards the best case scenario, but make your plans as per the worst case scenario. That is very important. When you make your plans as per the worst case scenario, whatever comes is definitely much better than the worst case scenario. And in case, I mean, this is not being pessimistic, mind you. Pessimism is totally a different angle altogether. Okay. When you're prepared mentally for the worst case scenario, there is no shock there. If you're not mentally prepared, what can go wrong in the worst case scenario? If you're not prepared for that, God forbid, but suppose it doesn't work out that way, the way you wanted it to work out. That's when many other angles come into picture. Depression could be one of them. Pessimism gradually can creep into the relationships or even within yourself. And especially if the kid is the reason why the gap in the career has been there, then in all likelihood, the kid may be affected. Let me tell you that. One of my favorite subjects is sales psychology. So even though it may not be exhibited at that point of time or manifested in the near future, usually any kid, all the experiences, positive, negative, shock, happiness, sadness, everything, all the experiences a kid gathers till 5-6 years, lives with him for the rest of his or her life. I mean, you can check up with any child psychologist whom you may know. Till 4-5 years of a kid's existence in this world, that is when he or she should be confident when he or she has a problem. There is some support structure available in the immediate vicinity. And when I'm saying support structure, I don't really mean your caretaker or crash and all. They are only replacements of the support structure I'm talking about for any emergency. But the actual support structure for a kid is invariably always the parents. Even the grandparents come next step after that. After that, maybe the caregivers or the crash owners or whatever. So the priority I would, whatever decision you take, which job to join, what are the timings, how far is it from your residence, all those parameters essentially have to be decided with one non-negotiable factor. How will this step affect the kid's growth? Simple. If you think there could be possibilities, I'm only talking about possibilities. If there is a possibility that it could affect, I would suggest dump that opportunity. Simple. For you as a parent, kid comes first. Maybe, I mean, as women, at some point of time, kid comes first even before the husband. Let us be very clear on that. Okay, so money and all is important. But the moment you get into it, I wouldn't like to use the word trap, but if you get into a thinking pattern or a mental attitude that money is the important thing, without even you realizing it, you have crossed a line where the chances of the kid getting affected in the long term are high. They only increase with time, let me tell you that. Immediately it may not be manifested because the kid can't express himself or herself so clearly that we understand it with our type of experiences. So once keeping that perspective as a factor that is non-negotiable, you start playing around with the sort of opportunities you get. Because I have seen some women preferring to earn money by going even 15, 20, 25 kilometers away from their home, rather than an opportunity which is close by and which gives more opportunity or chance to spend more time with her kid, but with a lower salary. That's the main reason why I was highlighting this particular aspect. Apart from my own personal interest of child psychology, I've seen kids growing up how the environment at home works to such a, it sort of gets internalized within the child. And it only comes out much, much later, by when we would have forgotten what contributed to that situation, and we start blaming the immediate situations or the circumstances which we think have contributed to the child erupting or going haywire or astray. Those are a few points I thought I would share. And another specific point essentially would be once in case the reason why I mentioned career reset opportunity, look at it as a career reset opportunity, is I've seen a few people, a few women who had real good hobbies, but because of family pressure, parental pressure, whatever be this thing, they took up education in one particular line, engineering, let's say, example. Most of today's IT crowd is engineering or related to that area. Because they have done a BTech, they have to join an IT company. There's nothing, there's no law saying that you have to join an IT company because you have done BTech. But that's how the world, everybody around them have been going ahead, so they go along with the flow. There's nothing, this is not a right or wrong issue, mind you. But this is a point where if you think you can focus on your hobby and make it a mainstream activity for yourself, no harm. At least here, at this point of time, you have a opportunity to make a choice. Maybe before marriage or just after college. Number one, you may not have the comparative way of looking at things, the knowledge you didn't have at that point of time. You went along with the flow. But just because you went along with the flow that time doesn't mean you have to go all through your life. At some point of time, you need to, you can always do that. The choice is yours. Again, I'll take it from my own personal example. I started my career in NTPC, which is an energy sector company. I did my engineering in electrical, but experience-wise, it was totally electronics. I mean, call it his krupa or whatever you call it, or chance, or providence, whatever you call it. In NTPC, I was in a few areas, control instrumentation, data acquisition systems and all. After NTPC, I joined in a totally unrelated area. That was by choice. I got into an IT company, where many of my skills I picked up in NTPC helped here. Totally unrelated. At that point of time, I'm talking about 80s, not now. In the IT company, I worked in two roles. One was initially for 4.5 years in the customer support, handling the corporate customer and national customer support group. Afterwards, I moved to defense projects as program manager. Again, within the same organization, two entirely unconnected this thing, but there were a common threads connecting both the experiences. After that company closed down, Sphinx Resources came into being. Initially, we never did any recruitment. Recruitment happened by chance. I looked at it. That's when, like initially, like I told you, I thought my technical experience, hands-on technical experience would definitely be a big asset here, because not many recruiters have hands-on technical experience. Knowledge they may have, yes, but hands-on technical experience wouldn't be this thing. Leading to, connecting it to your own situation. The career reset opportunity mindset essentially also gives you being open to different ideas, different possibilities to be precise. So I guess to cover the whole angle of all the situations that you people may be passing, I would switch over to the question and answer now. If you have any specific issues or queries related to what I told just now, feel free to ask.
Ladies, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your queries to Taj. He definitely will answer your queries regarding whether how to look at from a recruitment perspective or a job search or whatever it is.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, carry on.
Hello. This is Sonali here. Sir,
Yeah.
I would like to ask you one thing, that I have a gap in my career.
Pardon?
And I have a gap in my career, and I am looking to join back. Like you said,
Let me ask you a couple of things, Sonali. First thing is, what is your background like? Very briefly, one line.
I am an IT professional.
IT, okay. What
Software.
experience did you have before you stopped?
9 years experience.
9 years, okay. And since when have you not been working?
2009.
So around, you're talking about around 8 years experience, gap.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Okay. To be honest with you, Sonali, you know the present IT scenario right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know total experience before 2009. How much was it?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
9 years, right?
Yeah, 9 years.
Okay. So I don't know whether I should call it the wrong moment actually for you, because IT companies are really laying off people in 4 digits now, thousands, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would suggest, I don't know whether this will work out for you or not. This reminds me of quotation, Sonali. I think that will apply to everyone. In fact, I use it myself whenever I get a bit rejected, frankly. And this quotation is not by any philosopher, mind you. It is one of the greatest inventors of all time. You're speaking from a phone. I'm talking about Alexander Graham Bell.
Okay.
He's the inventor of telephone 150, 200 years back. Okay, around 150 years back. His quotation is, when one door closes, he often opens other doors. But we keep staring at the closed door and fail to notice the doors he has opened for us. You get the point?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I suggest is, you look for other options where you can use your skills which you picked up till 2009 and try to get into that role. That would be at this point of time. Had IT industry been doing well, getting into wouldn't have been a major issue. There would have been difficulties, yes, because you would be competing with people who have a continuous experience even till now. But given the present scenario in IT industry, it will be a swim against tide, so to say. If you have any hobbies, you can work it out that way. Pardon?
If I do some course for a few months or something, and then try to.
I didn't get you. Can you repeat that, please?
I said if I do some technical course, which can help.
I would suggest don't waste your money on such courses, Sonali. Not only you. I keep seeing such situations very often. Tell me one thing. Let's assume for a moment you are a HR person or a recruiter in a company. Okay. And
Yeah.
a person applies to you saying that I have done a course in so and so area, whatever be it. Other things being equal, would you hire that person, or what is the first question you would ask that person as a recruiter? Do you have any live experience, right?
Yeah, but it all depends upon the person's confidence. Like, I mean, it's not like even people today.
That is, you're right, Sonali. It all depends on the person's confidence, yes. But when do you get the opportunity to show your confidence? And only if you are shortlisted, right?
Yeah, that is the
Only
problem.
if you are called for the interview. Only in the interview you can show your confidence, you can show your capabilities or competencies, right?
Right.
So essentially you have to cross the recruiter's door there. Only after crossing the recruiter's door and going inside, that's when you get to the chance.
Yeah, that's
So that's where the whole thing becomes very tricky. And especially in the IT industry, learning, relearning, the cycle is a never-ending process. I think you have been there for 9 years, you know it better.
right.
Okay, the moment the IT industry is such an industry, unlike many other industries, let's take an engineering function or a manufacturing sector, there the scale and the rapidity with which technology or the version levels or which the new tools coming in, old tools being phased out, that cycle, the rapidity is much higher in IT industry than with any other sector, including medical. Let me tell you, medical, new things, new instruments, new methodologies of surgeries and all come in. But the scale and the rapidity with which it happens in IT industry, no other vertical or no other sector has that sort of this thing. So it becomes the moment. In fact, today, this is my hunch based on what I've observed for so many years. Today, those thousands of people are being laid off by Cognizant, Capgemini, Wipro, Infosys, most of the top companies and even the middle-sized companies, right? My hunch is at least 50% are being laid off just because they failed to keep themselves updated of the latest trends.
Yeah.
At least
True.
50%. That's my hunch.
That is the reason I am not scared of this. Because if you are technically strong, you can fit in anywhere.
Exactly. But given the present, given there are two aspects to your case specifically, Sonali, especially because IT industry and given today's IT industry situation, the prognosis at least based on. Pardon?
I said this is bound to happen if you are not updating your skills.
Yeah, how many people realize that? That's the problem, right?
Yeah,
They look at the salaries. We have seen many candidates keep approaching us. Okay, when the whole world is working on .NET 4.0, 4.5 and all, this few people say we have worked on 3.0. And where is our chance? Even to get into the interview phase, there is no chance for such people. I won't blame them. Let me be very realistic. Maybe they didn't get a chance to work in 4.0, 4.5, possible. But end of the day, this is how the world is, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay, so in your case, because you're planning to get back to a job, in the IT industry at a wrong time, frankly. Given the scale of layoffs layoffs happening of late. Keep applying, but don't really depend 100% on that. Always have a backup line in which you want to get into. Hobbies could be one of them, Sonali. Okay. Another things could be in IT industry itself. There could be a few other associated lines of activity in which you can think of getting into. I don't even know what skill you have in IT. Okay, but in general, I won't what do you say every particular activity in the IT line has some associated subsidiary skills which in which a person can get into. But by and large, most of the skills have that. But in the present scenario, getting back into the IT industry is tough. Let us face the reality, frankly. So if you have any, if I can ask, what does your husband do, Sonali? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, he's in the IT industry and he works in Barclays.
Barclays. Barclays. Have you tried in Barclays?
No, not yet. First, I want to try things myself. Then I will use the approach.
No, I appreciate that individuality. It definitely is a good point, Sonali. But usually going through references in the current scenario helps a lot.
Yeah, actually,
give it a thought. I would suggest give it a thought at least.
You're being very frank with me, so I can give you a frank discussion. That he tells me, you're being very frank, I said, so I can tell you frankly that he says that if you are technically strong and if you know things, you can go back because there are worse people than this. Because he knows me personally as a my
that I agree. I mean, your being technically strong will carry you once you put your foot into the office of whichever company you are applying.
But the only thing is
but the problem today is putting the first step into the office. That is the whole problem. That's where the recruiter, whoever it is, the recruiter is at the door there. Your CV. Let me look. Okay. That is where the whole problem comes.
Was because I keep telling him I want to do some certification so that it will help me in the job, but he keeps telling me certification doesn't help. You do your studies, you upgrade yourself, you will automatically.
Hang on. I think you are mixed up this thing. I never said certification doesn't help.
No. I am saying my personal view. I'm not.
No. I'm trying to correct you also. I am trying to correct you, Sonali. I am not saying certification will not help. It will help. Okay. If you are doing a job in that line and adding to it, but certification will not help to get into the line after a gap because that is not associated with any practical experience. You understand the difference? Okay. If you suppose you are working now and you are taking a certification, which line are you in IT industry? Actually, let me ask you that.
I worked in Microsoft Technologies.
Pardon?
Microsoft Technologies.
Okay, basically .NET, right?
.NET, C++, everything.
Okay. So, had you been taking certifications, they only work as an add-on and highlighting, yes, you are qualified certificate holder, so in so-and-so skill areas. Certification purpose is that, but certification is not at least I am talking purely from the recruiter point of view, okay. A recruiter doesn't consider certification as a replacement for experience. So getting into a job again after doing certification may not really help you. There is a difference. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So once you have to get into a job based on your past this thing. Recruiter का line कैसा cross करे? That is the whole $1 million question now, right? So until you cross that is where, like I told you, references do help. References, because until you put your foot into, at least one step into, then it becomes a camel and the Arab story. You can as well walk into the office with a good job and all. That is one point. And salary, I don't think should be a major consideration at this point of time, given the present IT scenario at least.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay, so you look at that angle, and again, like I told you, the other angle, again, like I would repeat the career reset aspect once again. Just because you have worked in the IT industry doesn't necessarily mean you have to work in IT industry. If you are only looking at IT industry because you feel comfortable there, let us be clear. Because you feel comfortable, you have worked in it, you feel comfortable. Kabhi coming out of the comfort zone helps a lot. For anybody, I'm not referring to you alone. For me, it helped a lot. I was totally haywire when I got into recruitment. It was chance, like I told you, whether it is a chance or providence or whatever you call it. Now I really enjoy. I mean, in fact, I've left opportunities as CEO and all just because I wanted to be in this line. I really enjoy doing the job. One of the points I made earlier. As long as you enjoy doing the work, it's no more a job there. So don't rule out any other possibility. Try to come out of your comfort zone. And especially for ladies, I think work from home opportunities could be there. There are so many, I mean, most of the startups and all. I won't say most maybe, but many of the startups. They are thriving on the women power working from their homes. And may not necessarily be in the line in which they were working when they were doing their jobs. Let us be clear. Just Google. I mean, I'm sure you will find quite a few cases like that. Yeah. So keep your options open at this point of time. I'm not saying stop looking for IT openings in Microsoft Technologies. No. But backup plan be ready chahiye. If you don't have a backup plan, you get the demoralization, the depression. I mean, all that starts kicking in even before you realize. Let me tell you that. I've seen it happening. I've seen it happening. To quote exactly, I've seen that happening with many ex-Satyam people way back in 2009. People who were drawing 20, 25, 30 lakhs per annum. Suddenly didn't know what was happening. Some people were ready to accept even a single digit per lakh annum salaries. 8, 9, chalega. Something so that the home can run. That is a very, I would say, extreme situation, yes. But here at least you have things in your control. Their things were not in their control, for good or for bad. But here there are things in your control. Don't drive it to a situation where it becomes out of your control. That's what I'm trying to say. So look for other angles where you think you can contribute at a personal level. Doesn't have to be a full-time job, not necessarily. Sometimes, yeah, carry on.
You've answered Sonali's questions a lot. I think we need to hear from others also.
Yeah, right, carry on.
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Hello? Yeah, hi Taj, this is Pranali here.
Tell me, Pranali.
Yeah, it was really nice listening to all the information you're giving us. I had a question. See, I am from an IT background.
Okay.
Firstly, I was into software development and then I moved into software quality assurance.
Okay.
And then I had to leave my job, obviously, for the kids in 2013.
Before that, how long was your experience?
I was working for 7 years.
7, okay. 7, 2013 break.
2013 October, yeah, I went on a break.
Okay. Okay.
Right now, I am giving interviews. I'm getting calls.
Okay.
But one interview I've almost reached the last level.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask now, this field is into HR. HR is HR with respect to recruiting people like the people in sales and marketing pre-sales background into IT product industry.
Okay.
Now I do not know whether I'll get that job or no. I mean, you could say around 80% of the work is done. What I wanted to ask is, as you rightly said, this company is nearby, and they are giving a work from home opportunity. I do not know
Okay.
about it till now. I just wanted to ask from your point of view, from HR recruitment point of view, from the recruitment point of view, how do you see this profile later ahead? I mean, since I have an experience in software development, then I went to software quality audits, and now I could move into HR, into the recruitment part of the HR. So how do you see my profile maybe after 2-3 years ahead? I mean, if you as a recruiter goes to do the selection, so later in life,
Okay.
what would I be doing? Yeah. So that
Okay.
would help. Right?
Forget about this opportunity and the interview and all for a second, Pranali. First of all, you make up your mind. Are you interested in recruitment? Actually,
Yes.
I mean, you don't have any experience, so you don't have any comparative way of making a choice. I know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
But are you willing to give it a shot or not? That is more important at this point of time. 6 months from now, that may change.
Okay.
Okay. 6 months from now,
Yes.
that may change.
Okay.
Okay. But
Yes.
right now, yeah, carry on.
I would be interested because what used to happen is during audits, we used to interview with respect to the appraisals. Of course, that's little different from this, totally different, you could say,
Yeah, right.
from these recruitment interviews which you conduct.
Okay.
We being into IT background, we used to take interviews with respect to Java, .NET, people of 2-3 years of experience, and so I thought, and we have been taking these interviews. Obviously, that is a little different because we have these set of questions.
Let me put it this way, Pranali.
Yes.
I would, in fact, make a generic statement. Skills can always be learned.
Okay.
Any skill. In fact, I would go to the extreme extent of including even the skills which require to become a Pradhan Mantri like Narendra Modi. Skills can always be learned. Attitude can never be learned, it comes inherently.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so if you have the right attitude to handle a candidate, because handling your employee or a co-employee or somebody reporting to you in a appraisal cycle interview is different from handling a candidate who is totally not connected with you. I mean, he may be connected if he clears and joins. For all you know, he may not be connected also if he is rejected. Okay. So the attitude plays a lot in a recruiter's job role. Let us be clear on that. Okay. So you will be the right person to make a judgment call on that. If you like talking to people in a nice way, the keyword being nice way. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I've seen people talking arrogantly also in recruiters. Okay. As if he or she is doing a favor to the candidate, especially if the candidate doesn't have a job currently. I mean, there's no male or female in this angle now. Okay, we have candidates, many candidates coming to us, even in males also. For whatever reason, they have lost their job or have to resign their job, whatever. So, in a nice way is the keyword there.
Right.
Then you can always learn the skills along the way. Where one of the points I touched upon, where the family support structure becomes important because you have to spend some time in learning the skills.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that comes into the kicks off at this point of time. Skills can always be learned. Attitude comes inherently. In fact, as a recruiter, in case you decide to take up the job, I mean, they offer you the job and you decide to take up, judging the mental capacity of the individual just by the way he or she is talking becomes crucial there for you. Okay, I mean, there was a time when face-to-face interviews, even for recruiters like us, was very mandatory. Unless we met the candidates, we never used to send them. I mean, now, forget about hardly see any candidates face-to-face. I don't see even once. I mean, last 3-4 years, I don't remember even meeting a single candidate, despite, despite placing so many. The whole scenario has changed now. Even in fact, the decisions, recruiting decisions and selection decisions are made on Skype nowadays.
Yeah, that's there.
Okay. Okay. So your judgment becomes very important there. That's the skill you have to pick up along the way, for which you need to spend some time and some effort and all.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay. And after some time, if you decide, yes, this is I really like this thing, that is the time for you to make a decision whether to stick to recruitment or jump back into the IT line.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but after some time, if you feel like you're doing another job, Pranali, let me tell you frankly, that's the time for you to come out. Okay, there is another quotation which I think it was Peter Drucker or somebody. The day you decide you're indispensable for the organization, walk out. It is not good for you, it is not good for the organization.
Yeah,
okay.
That's there.
The same applies to the liking the, enjoying the work and doing it mechanically just because you have to do it for the salary or whatever it is, promotion or whatever it is.
Right.
Okay, so these are few aspects which you will be the better judge to, but by and large I am giving you the contours of the decision making parameters there.
Yeah, but then as a since you're into recruitment process, how would you see my resume? I mean, if I join, and if I put in my resume that I have these many years of software development experience, then I moved into software quality assurance.
No, let me tell you one thing, Pranali.
So
number
does
one,
that
I have
confuse?
No. Number one, I have not seen your resume. Okay, number one. So I don't think I can make any judgment calls about your fitment into that listing or not. That is for the company in which you attend the interview to make it. Number one. Number two. I usually don't focus on the content of what is, especially in IT industry, especially for IT industry candidates. Okay. By and large, IT industry resumes are almost similar. I would definitely won't say identical, but almost similar.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So from that, I don't extract any opinion about the individual. I extract my opinion about a few other parameters on which I look into in the same resume. Okay. And after talking to the individual. And when I speak to the individual, I don't focus on what is being said. I focus on how it is being said.
Right.
The moment I mean, it's something like, I remember a movie dialogue in an old thing. You can say ma in 100 ways, right? You can say ma with a pain, which indicates that I am in pain, right?
Right.
You can say ma with a thrill in your voice, which says you are elated or you are really happy. I mean, I focus on how things are being said rather than in what is being said. Okay, I mean, all that comes as you learn along the way, and there are a few things which I can just tell you. But by and large, it has to be the individual's experience.
Okay.
I can only tell you to focus on them, but the actual focusing part has to be done by the individual there.
Yeah, because what I wanted to know is if I continue to be into the HR line, if I feel that yes, it's really, I want to work in this and then I want to move ahead as my career line maybe. So
are you in a point, I mean, you are now making a very basic assumption. In fact, I would say erroneous assumption. Do you know everything about your fitment into the HR line now? Will you fit or not? Are you able to make a judgment call now? Do you have the inputs or the parameters? Basically, what I'm trying to ask is, are you able to make a well-informed decision about what you're asking at this point of time? No, right?
No, I just wanted to ask if I want to move from future perspective, if I want to move into this HR line, do these people who see these resumes,
why would you focus on the present, Pranali? Again, I'll have to quote Bhagavad Gita now. Present is the only thing which is real. It is in front of you. Past you can't rewind. Future you don't know what to predict, because there are many other parameters which will start playing around in when you are talking about future. You are thinking only from your perspective. What if your boss says I am not happy because of some other considerations? You never know, right? So focus on the present. Like they say in English, cross the bridge when it comes. That's why, like I told you, maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the line, that is when you'll have some amount of information about your own fitment into that role, whether you fit into the recruiter's role and the HR recruiter role is the right fit for you, both ways, bidirectional, remember that.
Right.
You will have a better idea and clarity. That is the time when you can think and make a decision, go no go decision, in which direction.
Okay.
Right now, you are making a mistake by even thinking about that. You don't even know. For all you know, you may be a misfit. For all you know, right?
Right.
For all you know, you may be the best recruiter in that company after 6 months and 8 months, whatever. But at this point of time, I don't think you are in a position to make a judgment call on that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So, like again, I keep repeating, cross the bridge when it comes in some issues or some situations. Don't look too much in the future. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the next caller is
Yes, Smita, anybody else?
yeah, Priyadarshini, who wants to tell her question. Priyadarshini, if you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Priyadarshini, are you there? Next, who else next has a question?
Hi, this is Neha sir, and I was into the field of aerospace design for 4 years and a year into logistics, and now I'm on a break for it has been 4 years also. I'm on a break. Now I wanted to return into the recruitment field. What my question is, I am like I have applied for few, and all of them want some degree in HR. Sir, at this point of time, I'm not able to spend like on the full-time course, but I'm really looking for
few points, Neha.
Yeah.
You said aerospace design. What sort of design are you talking in aerospace?
Sir, I was working on planes for Airbus. Airbus. Basically, I was working for
No, mechanical
Airbus.
or avionic? Mechanical, avionic, or what exactly?
Sir, it was mechanical. It was mechanical design, the parts of Airbus A380s and its versions.
Okay. After
So
that,
now,
you said logistics. What is that suddenly?
yes. Sir, I was relocated to USA, and there as a freelancer, I worked for a year into logistics and supply chain. As a freelancer, I was working there.
No, what exactly was the role in logistics? Logistics is such a wide area nowadays.
Sir, I was, booking their loads and customer meets, vendor development, and stuff like that.
More into SCM side then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and now why do you want to, you said the return to recruitment. What do you mean by return to recruitment? You never were in recruitment earlier, right?
I said now I want to be into recruitment.
Why? Tell me that.
So because the aviation industry is, it's not as such as it was like 5 years back. And the job scenario is not very positive.
Okay.
So I thought of, moving into recruitment and for some automobile.
No, that's what I'm asking now. Why only recruitment? Why not any other field?
Sir, I find recruitment as little flexible, which can be carried out with my toddler. And in aviation or in aerospace field, you don't get work from home and stuff like that. The things are not flexible enough.
Okay, what is your qualification, Neha?
Sir, I'm BE mechanical.
BE mechanical, okay. And you said you attended some interviews and all, is that right?
Yeah, I have attended some interviews in HR also, as well as in aviation in my field also, aerospace design. But nothing really worked out.
No, what was the response? No response or total silence, or how is it like?
Sir, in aviation, it was like I have a gap of 4 years. That was something which was very big for them, and they were not ready to recruit me on my last salary also. And when I applied to a few of the HR jobs, they said we need some qualification in HR, like a degree or something. Before they were not able to,
Let me tell you one thing, Neha.
Yes.
There is no right or wrong scenario here. Okay.
Yeah.
When you are getting into the job market,
Yes.
I suggest you put the reference on the current market scenario.
Okay.
I get a feeling, I may be wrong, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I get a feeling you have put the reference as your last round salary.
Yeah.
At that point of time, maybe the salary levels were different. Right now, you yourself mentioned that the scenario is not really good in terms of aerospace, right?
Yes, sir.
So obviously the salary levels would be different. I mean, whether low, high, how much low, how much high, that's a different scenario, different issue.
Okay.
But they would definitely be different, right?
Yeah, right.
So obviously, when you start comparing or use the reference point, you put it in the present market scenario, market conditions. That gives you a more realistic way of how much to ask for.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I know I've seen this happening with quite a few people. Psychologically, it is tough. Psychologically, let me tell you, it is tough. I mean, I used to get 1 lakh per month. Now, this guy is offering me only 50, 60K. How can I come down? I mean, all this happens. At the end of the day, all of us are humans, yes. But at the end of the day, we also have to be realistic, because it's not the company versus Neha Sharma. It is the company versus Neha Sharma, ABC, XYZ, many other candidates there, right?
True, true.
Okay, so I mean, it's more of a change of looking at the scenario rather than a single direction viewing there, nothing else. My feeling is get into a line which you think you can enjoy, Neha. It could be recruitment, it could be SCM, it could be aerospace, whatever it is.
Okay.
Like in the beginning, like I mentioned, this essentially becomes a, you have an opportunity to basically reset your career. It's not necessarily mandatory that you have to get into aerospace, no. Just because you have experience in that, no. As a recruiter, there are plus points, let me tell you that. As a recruiter, being a technical, especially in the aerospace side, you have an opportunity to evaluate candidates even at the technical level. That's where my strength has been all through, so far at least. And I also make it a point to update my knowledge even now. I go through technical journals, technical magazines and all that on a regular basis.
Yes.
Okay, so even if there's a client comes out saying that we need a UAV designer for so-and-so with so-and-so specs and all, the moment he says specs, I immediately ask him what specs? Mil spec, JSS Penta 5, or what sort of specs are you talking about?
Yes.
Such question will definitely not come from a regular recruiter who only goes by keywords, right?
You're right, right.
The advantage will always be there in your this thing. But if you are getting into as a recruiter, only because that is one option available, I don't know how far it can take you. You get into a line which you enjoy.
Yeah.
At this point of time, you may not be able to decide, like I told the earlier participant. You may not be able to decide. Okay. But for that, you have to do some trade-off there. Now, what the trade-off is, it varies from person to person. Usually, I won't generalize it, but usually that trade-off happens to be salary. Okay, let us be realistic on that.
No, that's okay.
Okay, but let me also tell you one more thing. For a recruiter, for a HR, yes, you need a MBA HR. But for a recruiter, you don't need a MBA HR qualification.
Okay.
Okay, for a recruiter.
Okay. So
Later
how
on,
much
if you decide you want to get into HR full time, with this whatever background you have, then later on you definitely will need MBA HR. Because you can't spend your life all through your life only as a recruiter, senior recruiter or deputy manager recruiter, whatever it is, hierarchy. At some point of time, you will have to get into core HR. that is when MBA HR becomes mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a recruiter, in fact, I have recruiters who aren't MBA HRs,
Okay.
but they do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so as a recruiter, you don't need MBA HR. And in fact, in your case, it's a major plus point because you have a technical hands-on experience there.
Yeah.
Did I answer
So,
your query or no?
yeah, you completely answered my query. Just one more thing. What should I look for an institute if I really wanted to go for an MBA, which is a weekend or a part-time one?
That I am not the right person, let me be honest on that. There are so many opportunities now. You have to Google it and make a comparative study of the various courses of various universities and all. But given the scenario you are in, having a kid and all, full-time I don't know how far it's feasible in your case. So part-time or correspondence is more likely. But there again, usually the weightage given to full-time MBAs are higher from the company perspective than the weightage they give to correspondence or a part-time MBA course. Let us be clear on
Okay,
that.
sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Right.
There will be one last question and we need to stop. One last question.
Hi, my name is Nabanita.
Yeah, tell me.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked almost for 7 years in the IT industry. Then I had to take a break for my child, and now it's
When was that?
In 2012. So now it's a gap
Before
of more.
Before that, 7 years experience, right?
Yeah.
Which skill?
I was into development, and lastly I was doing on manual testing. We were just going to automation, but I had to leave my job.
Okay.
And I was working in TCS. But after 5 years, when I'm searching very hard for a job, I'm not getting any call.
No, I think I covered almost a similar situation which you have with another person earlier in the session. I mean, given today's IT industry scenario, frankly, it is a tough thing. I suggest
It's
you
very tough,
look at your...
actually,
It is. Let us be realistic, Navnita. Let us be realistic. Because in today's scenario, TCS, as far as I know, I think TCS is laying off how many? 6,000-7,000 people. Okay. I mean, you Google, you'll know for sure. I mean, each company, how many people are they laying off? Cognizant, I think it was 12 or 13,000. Infosys 4-5,000. Wipro another 5-6 like that. I mean, 4 digits or 5 digits. 5 digits only Cognizant as far as I know. But rest of them are in 4 digits.
I understand that. The thing is, I'm open to other kind of jobs also. Like I have a very good academic, and I want to go for some faculty, visiting faculty kind of job also. But how to know about it? Like how I can apply for it? I'm unable to understand actually.
No, I didn't get you. How to?
If I want to, if I want to take up a visiting lecture kind of job, because for lectureship also they need UGC net qualification or GATE qualification.
Yeah. What is your qualification?
My qualification is MCA. I'm MCA passed out in the year 2003. I have a very good academic, and I know I can take up some lectures like visiting faculty kind of lectures. But how to know about it and
visiting faculty, frankly, may not work out in your case, Navnita. Because like you mentioned, visiting faculty, the qualifications associated with visiting faculty and permanent faculty by and large are the same. Okay, they need a PG, MTech, or in fact, if you're talking about slightly senior faculty, PhD is a must. The qualification angle is essentially the same, whether the person comes as a visiting faculty or whether the person is on permanent roles. That is as far as I know. Okay. One way you can, or rather one particular angle you can work out is instead of, what sort of institutions are you looking at?
Maybe some kind of, I want to teach computer science in a college or...
No, that's what? In an engineering college or in a plus 2 college or what exactly?
Engineering college.
Engineering, you'll have this problem what I mentioned. Qualification issue will be there definitely.
Okay.
Okay, minimum MTech is required. MTech or PG is definitely required. In fact, assistant professor and above levels, they expect PhD, not just MTechs. Okay, so engineering colleges, I think, especially because
post graduation qualification. So
pardon?
I have a MC is a post graduation qualification.
I know that, but MCA essentially MCA, even though technically on theoretically it is equal to MB MTech, practically they don't give such a weightage. MCA is usually taken as equivalent to BTech practically. Even when you entered TCS, it was BTech MCA they say, right? BTech or MCA, is that right?
Yeah.
So they equate that with BTech, not with MTech. Let us be clear. You have done it, and one more thing is MCA is done. You can do BA, BCom, anything, and then follow it up with MCA, right? So it is essentially it is only a qualifying exam, nothing else. Okay, so what I would suggest is instead of focusing on engineering colleges where you will definitely face this bottleneck, you focus on colleges at the lower end in the sense +2 or maybe degree colleges where they have BCA courses and all. I don't know where you stay, but if there are any colleges which give such courses, that may be a better way.
I stay
and especially
in
because that may be, and in your case, the plus point is basically you have a hands-on experience in IT industry for 7 years. And that's quite something. 7 years is not a small figure in IT industry experience, especially in TCS, right?
But how to
you leverage on that. You leverage on that experience.
But how to explore those kind of
Google, I mean, that is, let me tell you one thing, Namanita. I can show you the way, the walking you have to do, right? Google, I mean, where do you stay? Which part of the country?
I stay in Pune.
Pune, I'm sure even the moment you Google or any colleges nearby, you go through their website nowadays. Even schools have websites nowadays. So go through their websites, talk to.
Pardon? Are not coming. I think these kind of openings, like for lectureship, they're not coming on internet.
They won't come. They won't come. I mean, why would anybody give this thing in their website as listing? I mean, even without asking, they keep getting profiles of many interested people, right? These positions, I mean, had it been principal of a college, okay, the senior level positions, number one, number two, not many people may be suitable. Put it on the website, but visiting faculty or this one, not many institutions put it on their websites as far as I know. So the only way for you is to call them up, I mean, get their details, whoever is in charge, principal or whoever it is, dean or administrator or whatever, call them, talk to them, introduce yourself, and then take it from there. But like I told you, your major plus point in your case is your TCS experience. Leverage on that.
It is quite disappointing actually.
Pardon?
It's quite disappointing. Like
why disappointing? How many education institutions did you try?
No, I have not tried at all. But,
then how can you say it is disappointing? Let me tell you one thing, Namrita. You have to walk the talk. Only after walking for some time, then you decide whether the effort was worth it or not. You have not even taken the first step, right? Let me be very clear. I remember another quote here. Failure is not the falling down. Got it? Failure is not the falling down. It is the staying down. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Now you are staying down. Get up. Falling, everybody has fallen. I mean, every individual, without exception, let me tell you, you, me, Smita, who is handling this show here, this session here, everybody must have fallen at some point of their life. But that doesn't denote that all the people have failed. Only they have failed who failed to get up again, made that effort to get up. Got it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All the best, Navneet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Namrita, and thank you, ladies, for attending this session. We got to stop now because we already overshot the time. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, all of you.
Thank you, Taj. It was a great learning session. Thank you, Taj, for being so frank and clearing so many of our doubts so patiently. It definitely gave
Thank you.
good insight as what they need to do and where they need to approach things. And thank you very much.
It was my pleasure, Smita. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Bye.